Do you know that feeling when you start up your childhood game and everything is so easy now? And you begin thinking, what a silly bean I used to be. This is so simple. Right, track 2. Now I can jump on these stupid lily pads. And this is what I expected when I launched Reforged recently. Besides, thanks to our Warcraft 3 Messiah, Grubby, I finally learned what upkeep means and that there are different types of armor and damage. I was ready for the challenge. Or so I thought. The real gaming experience was a bit off.
Our town is under attack. For Dalaran!
The missions I used to complete with relative ease previously now were so stressful and demanding. It was like, get good or die. And I kept wondering why. Is it because of new balance changes? I just couldn't understand. But what I did realize, if I were to win and actually finish that campaign and get them portraits, I had to become more cunning with my strats.
Our forces are under attack.
This was a little teaser of some fun things you'll see in the series. But first, let's lay some groundwork for surviving the campaign while at a low APM number. The following tips are applicable to the whole campaign, and actually getting a grasp on them can translate into valuable skills in online gaming too. Well, number 1, the infamous C word. What's there to say, you might wonder? How will I try to excuse myself for not using them often enough? I won't. They're actually pretty damn useful. You can move your army around quicker, focus enemy casters better, control base buildings from without leaving the battle, so you just click and you don't have to move around the map like crazy. But I'm kinda lazy and I usually made it through without them, so it's not always necessary. Important thing number 2, upkeep. It and overall running the economy, the optimal number of workers for each race. These you do need to know and always keep in mind when playing. It should be taught at schools, really. The next section quickly describes what upkeep means, so if you know, you can skip. If not, please stay. And you'll realize it's actually pretty simple. So, what does upkeep mean? In short, it's the amount of money you get from a mine with a tax based on your current population number. So, from 0 to 50, you get no tax, so each worker carries 10 gold per trip. When you are at 51, up to 80, the 10 is still detached from the mine, but you get only 7 from it. And with a high upkeep, you'd get only 4 for each trip. So if you're at this point, this means you have a really large army. Like, come on, go out there and fight. If you're not planning to do that, you want to explore the map for maybe a bit more, consider pulling out the workers from the mine. Also, there are cases when the mission is on a timer, or maybe when you can have a lot of expos, so yeah, then you shouldn't care that much. Also, take into account that some units take up 2, some take 4, so that 2 archers eat as 1 bear, and this influences your army composition. Think beforehand how many of each unit you want to get. Overall, I would say that maps are pretty generous with gold. Maybe you don't have to stress too much about it, only a handful of missions, but it's a good habit to develop nonetheless. And also, we see here that the gold mines have like 25k, 20k. However, these 15k might be 10 or less by the time you get there, because computer, like the AI, uses it too. So let's move on to AI. Tip number 3. The AI on hard mode is ruthless and unrelenting. It forgives no mistakes and fights until its very last breath. Unless it's your ally, of course.
I hate resorting to violence.
Then it will hoard unspeakable amounts of gold and pretend it's AFK while you have to do all of the job. Right, Jaina? Do you really need that much gold? How about spending some of it on troops? And she does this both in orc and night elf missions. Like, I don't want to babysit her ass. I need babysitting myself. So yeah, let's do it quickly. Top 3 facts about the AI in VC3 Reforged you need to know and maybe use to your advantage. Number 1, it hates towers and casters and will focus them down like crazy. So in a sense, it's like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you can divert the AI's attention to towers and it will definitely help with defense. More of your units stay alive and can actually deal damage and not just come out and die. And on the other hand, you might get carried away and start turtling up when you actually need to go out and fight. So find balance. As for casters, they too require constant babysitting, so they're safe and sound. But yeah, sometimes I found it to be more useful to just not make any casters at all. So if you're a snail like me, then maybe this is your answer. Number 2, AI is BM. It doesn't just write GG and quit the game and leave you alone. As I've said, it will fight until you almost completely annihilate it, like only farms and towers may stay. So in this sense, when attacking the AI base, it's best to kill off units first because they will be a big nuisance and you will lose a lot of army most likely, and only then you should get rid of the production buildings. However, in some cases, if like you're playing a long game, it's better to destroy the production buildings first because the AI doesn't rebuild everything. It rebuilds some of like the most essential buildings, and the rest should be destroyed so that they will at least stand less stuff at you while you're trying to finish the mission. And thing number 3 about the AI, things ramp up pretty quickly, so each attack is more challenging. That's why if it's possible, you should attack early instead of getting ready, like getting all the upgrades. Nah, you won't have the time. The AI just won't let you. Tip number 4, explore the mission maps. Don't just rush through the campaign, because the maps are really well done. There are side missions, different creeps and secrets, like things to level up, to get some goodies for your heroes. And if you see a goblin merchant, buy
The Elder Scrolls.
healing scrolls, protection scrolls. They really influence the game in a positive way, so it's easier to play with them. In general, the levels are so pretty, and I was thinking over if I should rant about the new models, but I think everything's been said pretty much, so I would just say that I actually like the new environments a lot, so I left this what some might say unholy blend of reforged environments and the rest left classic, but I think it looks pretty. You can't judge me on this one, but yeah, to each their own. Tip number 5, we're almost finished. Plan ahead the order you want to pick your hero's skills, because there is no such item as a retraining tome, like a retraining book. Only for a thrall in like one mission. That doesn't count. Also, an interesting tip from Grubby, it's unintuitive, but in some cases it's better not to take the ultimate. For Death Knight Arthas, for example, or for Thrall, leveling the first and the third skills is just so much more like useful and better. Though I won't blame you for wanting to roleplay. I mean, raising dead and sending them at poor elves and mages and earthquaking AI's base to shreds. Man, that feels badass, so go for it. Let's get to number 6. The same approach of like thinking ahead. also applies to your army composition. In my experience, the best combo varies for each mission. Well, obviously, because you get new units, and so does the AI. There is such a strat, a way that you should choose units that share the upgrades. For example, like dryads and bears, I think, have the same upgrades. And tip number 7, the last one, save regularly. It's a bit obvious, but with this AI, things tend to go awry really quickly and randomly. Just one moment you were fine with an army, your base was okay, and then poof, it's all gone, and you're like sitting there. What am I supposed to do now? Sometimes it's just better to write GG and restart the mission altogether rather than trying to fix the mistakes from the previous save file. And more than that, you'll know what happens in this mission. Now that you've played it, you've got a feel for this mission, and you can restart with better knowledge. And definitely make saves when you're not sure your assault is gonna be victorious. So yeah, better to be safe than sorry. So, that's it for the fundamentals. A couple of words about the prologue. Previously, there were 2 missions only, and the more fun missions were actually somewhere in custom maps in like TFT, custom campaigns. I don't remember exactly, but that's how you could play them. Now you can experience the entirety of it in one single campaign, and for what it's worth, I had a lot of fun. I skipped it and rushed to play the main campaign, but then after I finished it, I felt like I needed a break, and this prologue campaign was a breath of fresh air before moving on to TFT. Anyway, let's wrap things up. For other campaigns, we'll discuss how I managed to complete the missions and then add some advice from online guides, I guess. Each video will have my overall impressions, heroes' kits, or skill sets, you may call them, and then mission by mission strats and useful items you find there. So that's it for this first video. You're very welcome to leave a comment. Maybe you have some other useful advice or a fond memory of the Rock campaign or anything Warcraft 3 related. I, for example, loved to watch my dad play the campaign, and then when my sister and I got to play it, I would search for the custom maps with dragons, because it's so cool to have a dragon, like black and bronze ones, and of course red ones, and I think there was also a green one too. You don't see them much in the campaign. You can say frost worms were like a little consolation, but yeah, dragons are cool, especially when you can play them. So yeah, consider subscribing for the following parts. Stay tuned and have a fun time playing Reign of Chaos.